Hello, guys. This is Dr. Lior Bar-El. I got a lot of requests about something about the Ronin M right here. And a lot of people that were using the Blackmagic camera, production camera, the cinema camera. I'm obviously using it with a huge lens. Before I used it with the Tamron, what was it, 11-16, which was less in poundage in pounds. And this is obviously a heavier lens. This is the Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter lens. And as you can see, I am still being able to balance it perfectly, however I want it, and all of that stuff. Now, a lot of people, what they say is that they're Ronin M, and this happened to me before too, and I'll explain to you why. The Ronin M, the motors happened to shut off, and they didn't know what was going on, and they said, they took it to the shoot, and all this disaster started to happen, and all of these things, and they were forced to do it handheld. Their actors were pissed off. The crew members were pissed off. Well, guys, first off, let me tell you something. First and foremost, before you go out into a shoot, the first thing you have to do is test out your equipment, because if you don't, and believe me, it happens to everyone, even people who don't want to admit it, when we started off, everybody did that. We rushed, we got into it, and thank God that all the time, actually, it happened to, work out. Like me, sometimes I had a guy who planned about 3 shoots in one day, which was insanity, but we managed to get it done. Even though the camera ran out of battery, we kind of stalled while the battery was charging and whatever. But the number one thing that you got to learn and take from this, guys, is that you always have to test your equipment before. Now, why is this happening where the motors shut off on all of them and still the unit is on? Well, let me explain to you something. When you have a heavy, this thing was only designed for a 5-pound payload, okay? But to be honest with you, this whole thing right here, not counting the top, because obviously that's not what the motor carries, but this whole thing right here comes about 7 to 8 pounds, okay? You guys could add the lens. The lens is like about 2 pounds. The camera itself is like about 5 to 6. It's about like 8, or even I could even go as far as 9 pounds. So how do I do it? So obviously, if you don't balance it, okay, if you don't balance it correctly, you're gonna have the motors shut off on you. Now, I know I was reviewing, where's that damn thing? Where is it? The Sinmill, whatever, oh, here it is. Hold on. The Sinmill, oh, sorry, oops, just like spiked it. The Sinmill, whatever extenders. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, that Sinmill thing is great, but if you have a heavy camera, especially if you're using a lens like this, you can't use the extenders, because if you do, it's going to go too far down and become bottom heavy to the point that these will shut off. And they did shut off. That's why I removed it. I was going crazy. I was like, should I invest in a Ronin right now, in a regular Ronin? I said, I don't really want to dish out another $1,000. Let me see what I can do and fix it. So first off, you have to, upgrade to the latest firmware on everything. Your thumb controller, your unit right here, all of that stuff. But it had nothing to do with that. It had to, but still do it anyway. It had everything to do, though, with the bottom heavy. So it's just like, I used Steadicams my whole life. Heavy rigs, completely heavy. You wouldn't believe it. Not like this thing. The cameras were freaking as big as actually bigger than a toddler. So, so I'm just telling you, when things are bottom heavy, you're gonna get that swinging motion in a Steadicam. In a 3-axis gimbal, what happens is, because it's smart, because DJI put this in, DJI is very smart what they did here, because other companies that do it, what happens is you're going to burn out your motor, and it's gonna eventually die, and you can't use it anymore. And motors burn out very, very quickly. Take it from me, a man who's built drones and all these things. Okay, I'm telling you, it burns out very, very easily. And that's the problem with motors. So what this thing has, it's a fail-safe shut-off. So it shuts off all of the motors, and still you'll see it on. And right there, don't think that there's something wrong with your camera, with your unit. It's something completely wrong with your balancing. So you need to balance. Take your time. I know it's so hard to balance this shit, no doubt. The heavier it is, obviously this wasn't designed for a heavy rig, for 7 to 8 pounds, or even 9. But if you take your time, you can balance it. Now the thing is, obviously on the Ronin they had cool stuff like the one on the top here that kind of let you, instead of having a spinner, it kind of gave you the option to really tweak. With this, it's kind of like the cheap version of the fly cam or steady cams where you had to move it with your hand. So you got to be really, really careful. Sometimes even like the slightest, can make a difference, like especially from the left to right. So that's what happens. Now, I am going to tell you something because a lot of people were asking me how come, how I balance it so perfectly on this thing. Well, first off, the only thing that you should balance is the up and down, okay? I'm going to tell you why right now. Okay? The up and down has to be left wherever you put it, you see? But if you go left like this, it still goes this way, right? So you're thinking it's right heavy. But you see, as long as it does it here too, now you're going to say, oh, Leo, that sounds kind of stupid. No, because just like the Steadicam, when you have to do the drop test, you count to 2 seconds, 1, 2, you're fine. Okay, from the left to right, you're fine, because this is a heavy rig. 1, 2, and you're fine. Trust me, I've used this unit all year long. I've had no problems with it till I put that Sin Mill on it with a heavy lens like that. I had no problems with it. The motors were always perfect, and the readout, it was always great and everything, and I really, really, had no problems with it whatsoever. So I know I helped a lot of people already when I was telling people in the independent market on their forums, and they all told me that I should make a video, because nobody actually makes a video about this, how to fix this damn thing. So that's really how to fix it. Now, for those of you guys that have that problem where it spins around like crazy or it does like weird shit, there's a couple of things that it might be, okay? First off, again, balancing is a big thing, so you got to make sure you got the balance right, okay? So now we're going to go into, hold on, give me 1 second, right here, okay? So we're going to go into here. As you can see, this thing right here, I don't know if I got this here. Where is this shit? Oh, here. Okay. So this thing right here, sometimes, very rarely, does it get loose if somebody mistreated it or mishandled it, right? So what happens is it ends up getting loose, and what you need to do is press it in, but I don't recommend doing that. What I recommend you do is go to any electronic shop. I know how to do it. I don't recommend you guys do, because I don't want you guys destroying your, an expensive equipment like this. This is really expensive. I don't know if you guys should take that risk, but take it to any electronic shop and they'll resolder it. The problem with DJI and pretty much every electronic industry out there, it's a problem for us, but for them I can't say godsend because it's not ethical. It's not ethically practiced. They do it purposely so shit will go bad and you're gonna have to go and get repairs. They use really cheap wiring, okay, extremely cheap wiring. And what happens is, if you look at it when you take it apart, I don't recommend you guys do that, but take it to an electronic shop. When they're gonna redo it, make sure you tell them you want new wires that are heavy duty. You don't want those cheap little wires, because those things are going to get loose. They're kind of like the same wires that are used on Skull Candy earphones or earphones of Sony, that type, that one time one of your earpieces don't work and you're only hearing from one side. So that's exactly what they do. That's the same exact wiring they use here, except they use it, with covers over here and all that crap. But if you actually look at the wiring, it's very, very horribly even soldered. So it's better that you get some electronic shop to do it. In fact, I'm going to recommend that when you get it, that you go and ask an electronic shop how much a rewiring would cost. I redid it myself. I completely did what I needed to do, and I got it fine and working. But I'm an idiot, because I could have risked an entire expensive equipment like this for no, and I would have, cried my eyes out. But I took the risk. But I don't recommend you guys do it. Take it to a professional electronic shop. They got insurance. They got all that good stuff. And like that, you could be guaranteed that you're gonna have, you know, you're gonna have a good result. But that's pretty much it. That's all it is. And guys, when you're comparing this, and a lot of you guys I hear comparing the DJI products and saying, "Oh, this fucking sucks," you know, all this, guys. If you look at the alternative, you got nothing but crap. I'm being honest. Even though I'm not a DJI fanboy. As you see, I tore them up in a lot of things, especially when they don't deliver on time and all kinds of crap. And also their certain units that could have been, you know, that they were just being money hungry because they didn't have attachments. Like the Osmo Mobile could have been just an attachment for the Osmo, but no, they had to go and make their own freaking unit. So there's a lot of things that, you know, I discussed about that. So I'm obviously not a fanboy, and I'm telling you that I am not in support of a lot of business practices today. In fact, all of them, I don't think there's any honest business left anymore. But when you're comparing apples and oranges here, and this we can compare, this is cheap, okay, compared to the Movi, for example. Okay, if you go to the regular Movi is going to hit you up about $5,000, and it only does about, you know, let's say, I'm going to say 5 pounds, right? Now, if you go to the actual Movi and pay $8,000 for it, the bigger unit, the $8,000 one, you're going to get, you know, about 8 to 10 pounds. Okay, which is what this thing supports. And it's $8,000, their other Movi. Now, if you go to the regular Ronin, you're paying about, what, $2,300, $2,400 now? I think it's $2,000 for it. They have a special, but you know, and we're talking now. We're in February 16, 2017. So you know, if later on they change it, that's, you know, up to them. But the thing is, it's $2,000 now, and over there, and the Ronin deals with 16 pounds. Okay, so that's freaking amazing. But when you're using a Blackmagic camera, there's no point of getting that. You could just have it on this thing and be done with it, because you're gonna have to balance it out on the Ronin as well, or the motors will shut. Also, what I like about the Ronin M, as I said before, it's more, there's more evolution behind it. For example, an onboard transmitter, which that didn't have. So I kind of like. Also, I kind of love it, you know, and it's also compact, it's smaller, it weighs less. So there's a lot of things that go into that. But, you know, if you guys need a bigger camera or whatever, go with the regular Ronin. You're still paying less by, you know, by what, by $6,000 to get the Ronin over the regular Movi, and you're saving $6,000, and it deals with 16 pounds, not 8 pounds. This thing is the equivalent of the Movi, the one that cost $5,000, and this thing is not cheap, but it's much cheaper than that, and it can deal with the Blackmagic camera using a fucking lens like this. So definitely stay tuned, because I'm gonna be doing a test on the Z-axis gimbal on my vest for you guys, because I know it's long overdue. The Sereno, but I'm not or the, what was it, the Flowline Placid, which is the same thing. So I'm gonna show you guys if that thing is worth it in the next episode. But at the same time, I'm gonna be using, so you guys see, a Sigma 18 to 35. Now this baby is very big EF mount, okay, on the Blackmagic production camera 4K, as you see, because I don't want anybody accusing me of lying, because I always tell the truth, especially in my reviews and anything I do. And it's the Ronin M. So you guys are gonna see now. I got the what do you call it here? The Blackmagic Focus Assist. I didn't get the 4K obviously model, because there's no point. I like to keep it small. I also reviewed for you guys how to put a battery mount without investing a shit ton of money, where you can get the battery mount you already have by Tilt-A-Rig, which almost everyone has, and put on it a huge freaking battery like this one, and you can operate this thing for long hours at a time, and you know, pretty much even fuel this if you want. But I'm gonna be using the batteries for that one, but just for the test. So like I said, guys, that's all you need to do, is just invest time in trying to balance it. Okay, the left and right, obviously just make it fall 1, 2, and then to the right, 1, 2, and make sure it's within the 2-second range, just like it is on the Steadicam. And with the top here, you're just doing this, and it's supposed to stay still. You see? So the only way you do that is by controlling, where's that crap? This thing, by moving it up and down, forward or backwards, okay? Or forward towards you, or back towards this thing. So that's really all it is. And remember, fine-tune it just little bits at a time. You will get it. I know it's a tight fit, as you can see. A very tight fit, but it doesn't touch the motors. And in terms of left to right, it is right on the silver. So if that helps. I mean, again, it depends what lens you use. If you use this one, you should have the same type of measurements as I do right here. Okay, so just so you guys see the measurements, so you guys know if you have that one. Now, if you have the Tamron, it's about what is it, 11 to 16? It's about, I would say 11. I'm sorry, 11 pounds. It would be about, this thing right here would be about a pound less, or 0.7 pounds less. So it would be a less heavier rig, so you would have to pull it, you know, to a different measurement, I guess. You know, that's how it is. That's how it is on a Steadicam. Now, that's really all it takes, and you're not going to stress out your motors, as you see right here. I'm going to start it up again for you guys, so you guys see. Now, I am going to tell you guys, yeah, now I forgot that we're doing it the wrong way. I am going to tell you guys, though, that what's going to, the thing that with the, see, it's just kind of straightening out. The thing that, what is it? The calibration. A lot of you guys got terrified that it makes noise, and you guys got all scared. So first, let me just show you this. It's too, see, it's very stable. I don't want to go too much because it's going to hit that, and I don't have the cover on it. But you get my point. There you go. So the thing is, what you guys got to understand is when you do the calibration, I saw a lot of people getting so scared. Oh my God, it makes noise. Guys, if you look at the DJI website, first off, it's supposed to make noise. Every calibration and every type of motor, even in drones, makes noises. Okay, so don't freak out. It does vibrations. It does that. And it does, you know, it's calibrating your shit when it does auto tune. Okay, now I don't recommend you do, you know, you tinker with the settings if you don't know what the hell you're doing. But do the auto calibration. Don't be terrified. It's doing its job. Now, like I said, if it shuts off the motors, you didn't balance it. You have to first balance it correctly, okay, and then do it. Now, yes, it did happen to me before because I got lazy, as these 3-axis gimbals make you lazy. Because, you know, with the other one, you know, you always have to balance. With this, you think, oh, I'm going to get away with it. And you're not going to get away with it. So just to let you know. Oh, crap. Here we go. Just to let you know, you're not going to get away with it. Oh, see, now it's out of balance. Look how out of balance it is just because I put the cover on. So you guys see what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Everything could set it, you know, awry just by the simple fact of removing a weight or two. Okay, just like it is in the Steadicam. But you got to take your time and not be lazy, and you're going to do a great job, and it's going to balance out. I mean, if you look at it, I take this out, it's back to being balanced again. You see? You see? But you see what a difference that makes? So anyways, let me know what you guys think. I hope this worked for you. If it did, be sure to hit that like button and definitely subscribe. I want this channel to grow, and I want people to know about the information. I release honest reviews all the time, so you guys don't have to spend your hard-earned cash, and you actually see in the field stuff. If you look at my past videos, you see out the box reviews, because I don't try to do ninja walks and stuff like that to be fancy. I do what the company claims it does. They say out of the box, so I'm giving you an out of the box review, and then I give you some pointers. If it doesn't work out of the box, like if that Z-axis that I'm going to be testing out soon today, that's why I have this shit set up. If that doesn't yield me good results, I'm going to tell you the truth, just like I did on the other one, that it's not worth the money. Now with the Ninja Walk, obviously it's the same with, you know, as the Z-axis, but this, they claim that you could give it to anybody who's not even a pro, and it gives you stable footage. Well, let's see. This I know does, because I had many people, including my nephew, who almost dropped it, and he's 3 years old, and I'm surprised, but I gave him a DSLR, so it's a lighter rig, but I'm surprised he could hold it, a little tyke. But he's adorable. But the entire time I almost had a heart attack, but he wanted to see it, and I had to let him have it, and he did a great job, because this thing pretty much does its job as long as you balance it for him. So as long as you balance it, you could give it to any non-professional, and you're going to do a great job. And if you follow somebody with it, you're never going to notice anything, even the up and down motions, okay, if done correctly. If you ninja walk, you won't even know anything. You won't know any difference, because it won't do anything. But I'm saying if you walk around somebody. Now, the Z-axis gimbal claims that it could stop the up and down motion of me walking regularly. So we're going to do that in the test. So I hope this thing worked for you. Definitely like and subscribe, and tune in next time. Have a good one, y'all. Take care. Bye.